As we cross signals and communication line center positions, you have to understand what the brain is. Brain is communications to all levels of a computer. It's a computerized line of position location circuitry board. Circuitry board to allocate time sensitive locations. Once you get to a certain level, the brain its system to position comes into all levels of placebo. Placebo to its cortex. Cortex to its hindline center to its visionary. Everything to the placebo, it's its thought pattern. You just truly have to understand how it's calculated and modified when you go into a higher level system. So the brain becomes a computerized system and the mind becomes a simulator. It's interesting how you put two and two together. It's all done through fluctuation, understanding, two communications, Y factor communication line centers, trifactor locations, of factor locations. So for you guys to understand all levels of your travel, especially because you have your test reviews and coming up in position locations, you have to understand how to go through your 12s, your 24s, 48s, and 72s. Now, it's very powerful how we come into our clocking system. But today, we're going to go to high-level system rotations into 144. So once we get into 144, you have to understand 144 clocking system, 244, 344, 444, 544. It's all position location of clocking system. Now, you want to change things. You go through all levels of trifactor. You're changing clocking center. If you want to go back to factor, you're changing the clocking dimension. Now, it's confusing to anomaly, but I've set up so many structural locations of clocking. You really have to understand because we're going to travel to all position locations in 1 million years in the future on a clocking system of 344. All right. So to truly understand that, you have to have all level position location of clockings at 12, 24, 48, and 72, and how to go back and forth. Right. So you're going forward, you're in a factor communication of point system. You're going back, you're changing. Trifactor is changing your clocking system. Trifactor, factor. Okay. So that's a true understanding. You come into calculation modifications. 5-10 minutes, we'll get started. You guys really have to understand your clockings first, especially if you're traveling. Now, coming in humanity and fluctuation line center position location is going to merge into positions of 12 and 24 into one signal. That's communication line centers where everything is set up to all position locations of Lemuria and everything to Atlantis. You put all position locations of 1 and 2 into 2 planets in one sequence. It comes into one atom rotation center location. Right? So it's all about understanding how to put this all together. Right? It sequences on so many level position location as the brain becomes a computer line center position locations and the mind becomes a full communication of a simulation. It's amazing how you put all this together, pieces and puzzles together. It's incredible how you go through your own clocking through all the positions. All right. So how's everybody doing so far? Yeah. I upgraded Chris because I saw her diagram program setting and a clocking system of 12, 24, 48, and 72. It was fantastic. So she's now sergeant of levels of realms. So it's all about understanding what you're doing, knowing exactly what you're doing. And that's what, I look and see and hear everything. So I know exactly where you guys are and in position to its locations. Yeah. So check out Sergeant of Levels of Realms. She now is in her position to her clocking system. If you understand clocking, you are good to go, but you really have to understand the 12. 60 seconds per minute is a 12 cycle rotation interference of a clocking system, guys. Right? 24 is position locations E and position locations all levels. Y factor line interference of trifactor, two-factor communication, manufacturing to anything position locations. It's all about the clocking system. So 24 is 13. Now, you have to understand if you want to go faster, you have to change the trifactor, two-factor to communications from 24 to 48 and then 48 to 72. Or there you can go back. So you can time jump, vortex leap. You can do anything through timeline. So it's amazing how you go those positions, right? First Command, Amber can help you out with the timelines. She's really good with her clocking system. So also too, is that the structures that I set up, it's going to be a little bit unrecognized because the way it's set up It's pretty fascinating how we have a clocking system of 12 and 24. So that's position location. You understand the military, right? That position to its conditions, right? Because that's 24, 13, 14, 15, 16, all the way up, right? But once you get past the 24, you go into 48. That splits the division in position locations of one docile 1, 1 docile 2, 1 docile 3, 1 docile 4, 1 docile 5, all the way up to 48. All right. Now, in position location, it's all about understanding what is this? What does humanity have to come back to in position to its locations? Let's do. So I got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 position locations, seven lines, center, rotation, interference in position to its locations. Okay. What is this in position? All right. What is that? It's a 0. It's just a plain 0. Humanity has to come to 0. 0 equals gravity, right? Mach speed locations, Mach, anything through calculations. Mach 1 equals 10 in position locations, right? Mach in all level positions times 1 times 2, line connection interference. Trifactor, position location, 2, direction location. So this is how I do things every single day. I don't go through clocking. My clocking is all done through shapes and planets, geometry setting, simulation graphs. It's complicated stuff. So my clocking is all planets and shapes. It's crazy. We'll get into that later, but right now I really want you guys to understand how to control the brain system of its computer line center and everything through all levels, how to get into 12, 24, 48, 72. Once you get into 72, once you pass 72, you go into 144. That puts you into Mach speed, okay, past light speed, which is very powerful, okay? So humanity has to come into 0 track to its gravity location. So you all have to come into your Machs, right? So it's all about changing evolution. The activation system in the mind line center has to truly understand all levels of its 30%, right? Because that's what humanity is living on right now, 30% of the brain system locations, right? I'm in all timelines of all clocking. Imagine how fast that is. So you have to truly understand your trifactors and your factors every single time you travel through some time center, okay? So in that position, you come into this equation. 12 equals 1, 24 equals 13, 40 equals 1.1, 72 is 0.1, 144, Mach speed, Mach 1, past light speed, 144 equals 0.01. That's your clocking system. 5 line center position locations of 12, 24, 48, 72, and 144. Right? Isn't that fascinating? Now you understand that. You clock the system to a position to its location conditions, right? Now you come into 12 equals clocking systems. Very simple, very direct. 12 times 1 equals 12 over. So if you want to go over, you have to understand, are you going over to 48 or are you going to 72 or 144 or on? So you go over. Okay, equalize position locations, Y factor line position of flux capacity location of 1200 equals factor communication, high line channel to its rotation. All right, over. So I mean you're jumping over. You're jumping over to 40. You're jumping over, right? If you want to change, you go back, trifactor. If you want to set position of point system, factor. Okay, so it's going to get really complicated, guys, but it's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of fun with this. All right. Okay, so once we get into that position, we get into this. Now, don't get confused. Now, we set up 4 division line center rotations and interference. Okay, so it's all set up 12, 24, 48, 72. 144 is the center line position and flux capacitor line connections. You're going to travel through all this into 144. But before we do that, you have to understand all levels of the gauges, communication line positions, all levels of your teleportation line center. So once you're passing 144, you have to understand overload, over circuit, over connecting. So it's all about understanding high positions, low positions, and median track lining interference position locations of 12, 24, 48, 72, or 144. Anything past that, you're going light speed, which means you come into all position locations of 0.01, which is equals Mach speed 1. Okay? So it's really fascinating the way you travel the direction of time. All right, so go into calculations. Let's start off with the clocking center first. All right, so we get into that factor location to its trifactor, to its Y factor line center. Y factor to all positions of flux capacitor. Remember, Y, right? So it's all about getting ready, getting prepared, right? And you always have a clocking window positions between 12, 24 in position. So what is the 12 clocking system? You have 12 seconds to accelerate. 24, you have 13 seconds to accelerate. So in position locations, 48, 1.1 in position, 0.1 in 72, and 0.01 in 144. All right. Okay, so when you get into the clocking system, it looks like this. All right. It's pretty amazing when you come into this position locations. All right, so we start with this position. Let's start off with the 12. 12 each factor. Okay, so you got the 12 line center position location. This is the shape pine line center rotations. This is where it comes into all levels. 24 equals 12 of 7 equals 19. All right, so you're going in from 12 to 24. So what is 7 o'clock? 19, right? So you have to stand of and over. Okay, cross over. Okay, you can find a way to connect with all levels of your clocking line conditions of your trifactors. See, trifactor. Triangulation interference position location to its conditions. Factoring communication is back into the clocking system. Trifactor is change. Just have to remember those two. Trifactor is change. So if you want to change, you have to trifactor your position of 12 line center or 24 back into 48 to 72 to 144. But you have to stand of over across signal or allocate position location to time center. Now it's complicated stuff because I'm all levels of my computer simulation. My clocking system is nothing but planets and geometry line centers of shapes, letters, numbers, and digital frame position locations, right? So I always work on the matrix level and position locations of numbers because we're all a sequence of numbers coming down, right? Everything is in a clocking system. Everything is in a clocking system, right? So you have to stand position location when it comes into trifactors to position of shapes. All right. So it's pretty powerful how you come 12 equals factor. You start off that positions and 24. So if you want to change the timeline center times pi, you change the trifactor into all levels of 24 equals 12 of 7 equation equals 19. Okay. So it's fascinating. Try not to get too confused. And then you go into your 48 equals factors, right? So 48 is 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, 1.5, 1.6. So this is the 40 equals factor. 1.1 equals equation of acceleration. Coming into Mach speed line center of position locations of 72. 72. All right. So 48 equals trifactor. So you're changing the 48 to 72 over 72 of the clocking system to its calculations, right? So it's all about traveling through 12, 24, 48, and 72, and 144, right? So we start off with this position. You can screenshot these. There's the 12 clock is 1. 24 is 13. 48 is 1.1. That's half the signal line interference. So 72 is 0.1. 144 is 0.01, which is light speed. Maching locations of Mach 1. So you can Mach 1 or you can go back to 72, but you have to change the trifactor. You understand? And then the trifactor changes the Y factor to its flux capacitor, which changes its position. So you can go from that position to 12 position. All right. So it's very, very powerful when you connect to those systems. All right. So once you come into that position, all right, you come into all levels of 144. Okay. 0, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1, 2, 0, 0, 1, 3. So it's really, really powerful, isn't it? So it just keeps adding zeros and zeros because humanity has to come back into all positions of 0%. That's eternity stating. So once you come into 0%, you start up, right? So it's kind of like dropping sequence locations of crypto connection position to its highline center. It's really fascinating how you come into zero every location. So you come into 0, 1. That's where everybody starts in position to location, right? But you have to start off with 30%, right? And then you come into high level system. Once you get into 144, you go Mach equals 1 equals all levels. So it's really powerful. So we're going to start off with 4 division locations, 24. So we go from 12, 24. Now it gets easier when you go higher. Now I know it's complicated, but it's just understanding the 12, 24, 48, and the 72 clocking system. And the 144 is the center operation 2 position locations. We're going to travel 1 million years into the future, but the acceleration clock center is going to be 344, okay, per second, right? So we're going to go forward through factor. If we change, we go trifactor, which means you can go from 144 to 72. But you have to make sure you know what you're doing through your timelines because you can accelerate, decelerate, go up, or you go down in position locations, right? So today, you guys are going to go through a TL, a TL center position location of a rocket jet. So this rocket jet is going to surface your position locations into 344,000 miles per second location into position line center in calculation to its clocking locations, right? So the meter metric line center position location to its connection is 850,000 miles, right? So it calculates on modifies. So you got the 344 clocking and you got the 850,000 miles per second of teleportation of your teleportation unit, right? Of the rocket jet. So you guys are going to go way up, right? And then at 4 o'clock in another class, you're going to go way down, right? So you have to understand accelerate up. You have to know what it's like to actually go extremely fast up, not just across. You have to learn how to go all levels here, all levels here, all levels here, all levels here, circle, spin, cross, do anything you want, spin now like this, understand how to weave, how to center, operate, circle line connect, so many levels of speed time. All right. So it's going to be a lot of fun. All right. The center up position locations is coming in calculations. So you guys might have to watch this video back because it's very powerful. But if you basically I'll show this one more time. All right. Screenshot that. That is your clocking system and you have to pay attention to. If you want to travel 3 or 12, 24, 48, 72, that is all positions to all levels of your sundials, any communications of your moon, of its program system location. All right. So it's very powerful when you come in that positions. We start off that position locations into your factors of 12 and 24. Okay. See how it comes into a trifactor? It changes position location. So I go from 12 to 24. I go 24 to 12. But if you want to change back, you have to go through trifactors. Right? So it's really powerful when you do that through position, guys. All right. And then you go through your 48s. Okay. All right. So on your 48s, you come into your 144s. Right. You guys are used to your 12s. A lot of people aren't used to their 24. So 13-hour line center in rotation and inference position location equals what to equation, right? 1 p.m. So that's 1,000 line position location to position line connections of all position to its location. So complicated, isn't it? When you think about it. Because remember, we don't do math. We're mapping sequences. So 1 times 1 does not equal 1. It equals 3. But see the time, okay? That's an X cross. It's not what you think it is. So it's all position location 2 connections. We'll get into that too. This will help you out. to understand. So you have to get all equation locations. You have to understand your numbers, letters, and shapes and symbols, and your digital number locations. 01113, 006, 8012. It's all calculated. When General Lotus comes on, he has his map sequence. He goes northwest, south, and east. Divine, alchemy, position locations, high line center position, clocking center, 24, trifactor, coming in positions, high line center, Y, X position location of Z, line center position, zip zap zoom, high position to its clocking locations of 144. Right? Done. See? Gets complicated, right? So my clocking system is basically this. It's all numbers. Just numbers. This is my clocking system. Gets complicated. This is my clocking system. It's crazy how I do this. It's unbelievable. It's like Sudoku where you have to put the numbers in frame. That's all it is. This is my clocking system, guys. It's not a clock face or anything positions. All digital numbers, planets, all position locations, star system line centers, weather patterns, interference changing lock connections, point systems, hieroglyphic location connections. That's my clocking system. Complicated, right? So, but it's a lot of fun when you get to that level because the mind computes everything through simulation. The brain sets up all levels of its computer. So the computer sets everything through the mind, which mind connects to the simulation. Simulation goes all levels of simulation graph locations to all clocking locations. So I can channel from 12 to all levels of 144, 244, 344, and on and on and on and on. But humanity has to come back into zero gravity. Okay. So this is going to be fun because you guys are going to go into Mach. You're going to go past light speed. All right. Yep, there's a private sector afterwards. Confusion? I know this. I know this. Samantha's going, I think I'll just stick with my compass now. But you guys understand the clockings now. All right, so you can screenshot those and know exactly what you're up against. All right. Okay, so let's see. Terry's lost. That's fine. I can help you out with that. If you're lost with the clocking, I understand that too. Okay, let's see. Just concentrate on yourself. Don't stay in your sovereignty, please. It's the most important thing because you guys are coming to position to have your missions and your journeys. Okay, you have any questions or comments? You can do it through the private sector. It's amazing how Amber has time for us to create this space. And it's important that we all understand what we're doing through our clocking system. You don't have the right clocking system, you can't travel. It's that simple. Okay? Space equals time. That's all it is. Space equals time. Space of you and time of you. Space of you and time of you. Space inside you and time of travel. Okay? So that's how it works. All right. So now you know exactly what it is when you come across those systems. All right. So now we're going to go through the 4 divisions, right? 12, 24, 48, 72. You guys are going to go through all these clockings, and then you're going to go to 144, right? So you're going to go from 144 in position locations to highline center, right? So it's going to be 144 times 3 is 344, okay? It's really interesting how it comes across system. Remember, it's not time, it's X. X means what? X, position location of T, position line center, X thousand, X T thousand. So that's a Trinity standard when you come across these things because all the metric line center is position of you through your computers of the brain line center and position of the mind, how it allocates position of time center location. All right, so 144 equals 344 of a clocking system. So if I go from 144, what do I do? What do I do? Equals trifactor. See? 144 equals trifactor over 2, 344. Okay? All right, let's do this. Okay. Now, once you get to 344 and you're going out 850,000 miles per second in position, you will actually go right through the tunnel position line center. It's all about understanding what you're creating through your tunnels and your wormholes, right? Because you understand the clocking of realms, right? Because you're speeding across, you can be going, or you could be going, there's all different ways to travel, right? But space has to understand you through time of clocking, or you can't understand these things through its trifactors of its factor. Okay. So it's really understanding what you're doing with your fluctuations of your flux capacitors, guys. These are the things you have to understand. Understanding the 12, 24, or 48 and 72 is great. But once you get into 144, you're now in past light speed. So you have to understand all level positions to all level to its connection, right? So we're going into that forward division to the line signal, okay? All right. So once you get into a million position line center, you guys will be in a different particle system, which means that the timeline center is going to change all levels of your molecular structural locations, turning you guys into raptors. You guys have to be turned into raptors because you're 1 million line center position locations. And the only way to set up the crown is to position to its beginning. So, and then you guys go back to your division location to its correction, to its connections of where you are through division of space line center. It's a trinity stand position. When you're understanding the mind, where are you in the mind? I'm constantly traveling, but where are you in your clocking? Where are you in activation? Where are you in time of space? Okay, because you always have a current location because you're never stopping. You slow down, but you never stop. The mind just keeps going and going and going and going and going, right? So there's no time to rest. Now, you don't sit on a bench and wait for the bus. No, you're constantly moving, right? Because that's what space and time does. It keeps moving for you. So it stays with you, not against you. Okay. So it's to understand how humanity is not in that position to its clocking. That's why they can't surface to higher levels of their avatar position to their T reception locations. It's all connected to the sun and the fluctuation line center position too. It's all calculation. This is going to get complicated, guys. Okay. So it's all about understanding what I give you is already set in view position to its simulation because it's stored. It's stored right here in your cloud interface. Okay. Storage is everything, right? So if I came across you in opposition, for example, with General Lotus, he comes to me, I come to him. He knows exactly where he is in travel. And that's what the rebellion has to understand. Know exactly where you are in the mind, where you are in clocking. So if I came up to you and I asked you a question, you have to know where you are in travel because it's all about detection and protecting yourself. Where are you going? Right? So the more it gets confusing through clocking, the more you go faster through light speed, the more you can calculate, modify all levels of your Merkaba, okay? All connections to all levels through your tesseracts and your communications to your tetrahedrons. The higher you go, the more you platitude division locations of higher levels of geometry settings of shapes. This puts you at all levels of your geometrics operation direction to its location, right? So it gets more complicated, but it gets a lot more fun and it gets a lot more easier because you understand where you are in the mind, right? So I'm in the simulation graph right now, a matrix location to its connections of 344 clocking locations of 850,000 miles per second through teleportation line connections to its mind system. That's where I am. So know exactly where you are in the mind of clocking. You'll do fine. Right? It gets very confusing if you don't understand the brain of the conceptual line center of the mind, which is the simulator of its simulation. The singularity line connection is everything through its connection. That's a true understanding. So if you're changing clocking, make sure you use the trifactors. Now, if you want to go back into position, make sure you use the factors, right? Trifactor, factor, right? You set the shape, position equals equation, Y line center, flux and past line connections equals all position. All right. So, all right. For division line centers, all position observation line connections. New people that come in, they're going to be outline center rotation looking in through clocking location of 12, 24, 48, 72 in position line connections. high-level system of 144 mock position locations. In trifactor line center, change position locations. The Galactic Federation Light Center position is going to go into 12, 24, 48, 72 position to 144 equals position of trifactor over crossing the locations 2, 3, 44 position of clocking center. Put them activation in position of 850,000 line positions per second of clocking locations. Activate core line center. In position location. All right. So traveling in direction of time center. It's really, really powerful how you guys are traveling right now. So when you're traveling through space, try to understand your positions. And when you get in calculations, you mark your speeds and know how to eventually slow down, speed up, go across, go up in that position locations. All right. So you drive, you're going. So and when you come into that million line center, you come into a new universal solar system. All right. So you come into a new universal gap, a new universal space, and a new universal time, which has its galaxy, which has its vortex, which has its communication, which has its foundation to its ground system of its identification of its digital line center. Okay. All right. So you got about, let's say, 20 minutes to get there. Digital line center, that's 20,000 line position locations, high level rotation center. In calculations. And like I said, if you're in space and basically you're going 1 hour position of certain clocking center, it all depends on how fast you're going through acceleration and light speed. It all depends. So 1 hour in space is 7 years on ground center where you are through your current location. All right. So it's really, really important to understand your clockings and where you're doing through the mind system of travel. Because your thoughts have to understand, oh, okay, I'm going through my 12 right now, but I don't understand my 48. And I'm not sure about the 72, but I think I'm at 48 now. So, I mean, that's a true understanding. And that's what general position location of Lotus is coming into. He's coming in his weather patterns. Every time he reboots, he resurfaces and he regenerates, he recalculates everything. He goes over everything through graph. So nothing doesn't feel right. He'll go back and reconnect, revalue, revamp, reanalyze. That's the true understanding. I had to start with these things because the clocking system is very confusing if you don't understand travel, right? The travel of space inside and the time that you proceed in position to acceleration to light speed, especially if you're mocking from 1 to 10 or 1 to 12. You have to know what you're doing, right? So 30 minutes, have fun. In position locations, high level rotation, we'll go back in interference and we'll set up all levels of the crown. All right. In that position to its connections, knowing exactly what you're doing to calculation, that's the most important thing, right? Everything is given to you through a mission and a journey. All right. Yeah, you have any questions afterwards? Speeding up time, yep, and that's what it is. Humanity's coming into 12 and 24 clocking system merge into one. All right, confusion, I know this, okay. All right, so let's see where everybody's at. Speed, yeah. Okay, that's what we got here. I can't do it. Okay, that's fine. Get in position locations there. Need more coverage on clocking. Yep, and that's what. If you guys need help, I'm here to help you out. You have to really stand your clockings down. 12 and 24 is fine, but once you get into 48, you're splitting division now. That's why it's 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, right? Because you're on a 60 second per minute clocking center of 12, right? But when you come into higher levels of atmosphere, hemispheres, stratospheres, bios, and baranium, you're reaching different clockings of speed, guys. All 3 box centers. So, all right. Spiral art for my clocking system. Can't draw a perfect circle on my own. Okay. Let's see, I already did it. Okay, let's see, in position here. Okay, so much. My poor avatar is mixed up. That's okay, Ellen. That's totally fine. We have the private sector. We can communicate with that. And it's good that we're going to the private sector because you guys are confused about your clockings already. Yeah. 12, 24, 48, 72. 144 equals clocking system. Okay. Yeah. To the time, numbers go up, goes faster, or is it all in a location? Well, it all depends on where you're going through your missions, right? You always have to have a location. What's your intent? What is your intent? Okay. What is the will? What is your force? Where are you going? What's the creation that you're creating to its location? There's 4 channels right there, 5 within system, 6 with activation, and 7 with the body. You'll hear me say that over and over and over, because what are you working with every single day? Your 12 DNA strand of your body, right? So you got water inside, right? And you're taking water. You're taking water for faster and faster. So it's important you have your notes. It's important you have your pencils and pens and your water to drink, right? Because you will dehydrate if you don't drink, right? Because you're going faster. Your accelerators are changing positions. So if you're going past 144, not only are you going past Mach, light speed, but I have to mutate your line centers, position location. So you guys will turn into raptors. Okay, you have to send all position location from the center position, how it came into the crown, how I came into the crown of position locations to that connections, right? And then you guys will mutate back into your form system location. So it's exciting. All right, let's see. Numbers are correct. Yeah, 12, 24, 48, 72, 140. I see a bracelet like this. Excellent. Okay. Incredible. Thank you, First Command. This is phenomenal, guys. Holy Tommy Batman. Stormtroopers. Okay, let's see. Put my gauge into the right almost instantly. Careful, everyone. Okay. Remember, you're going up in speed. It's a lot different. You're not going across signal, you're going up, right? So you're going through your rocket jets, right? So, all right, position location set at 144, clocking set, calculation is 72 window. Okay, so basically, Heather, if you're going to position location setting at 144, clocking set, calculation is 72 window, make sure you put your trifactor in there because you want 144 clocking set in position, but you're calculating a 72 window, right? So either you go in position of factor to communication of point system to location, or you go trifactor back in position of 72 window. So make sure you're in that calculation to its modified system. All right. All directions of balance have merged into mass balance. Yes. And factor calculated flux y in position. Very good. Excellent. Shooting anchors in time from section 4 southeast. Indeed. Downloads into mapping system of direction. Yes, it's very important to get your clockings in position. You guys are in 25 TVs in a compilation, one center to one position to one graph to one perception location. One perception to one location, not two. You have 2 eyes, but you're going right here. So when I see things, I go right in the center and it opens up everything, right? So when I'm traveling, I'm out. So I go through 25 and then I'm out, right? But I go laser direct. So what am I doing? I'm setting up shape, right? So if I want to add something, I'm adding frame on frame. So I'm changing the current location to its future. Now I can go to the future, back into its current, to its past. But every single time I do that, I have to add trifactor. Okay? Because it confuses your anomalies of the sun and your position locations of the program systems of the moon. Okay? Because you're working with every day through your flux capacitor channel locations, right? All right. Computers processing, all weathers have collapsed. Also, computers processing. Let's see. Umbrella is closing. Okay. Let's see. Exposition located. Plasma heart line center. Good. Okay. Upgrading computer system. Nice. Get ready to shoot yourself in this sector 2. Creating now. Computers. Awesome. Great. Excellent. Vortexing all waves into master atom. Good. Moons are back to back. Horizontal line. Exactly. Crazy windstorm. Ever whoosh. Yep. Yeah, you got to understand your galaxy locations, and galaxies have clockings too, guys. So you have to merge everything into balance wherever you are traveling, because if the galaxies understand your clockings and your trifactors and your factors, you're off position. And then you got to go all the way back. So what's going to happen? The galaxy is going to put you all the way back to position locations. That's what galaxy is. It's intelligence. It's telling you, no, you're not ready for your clocking center of 144. Nope, you're not ready for your 244. Nope, you're not ready for your 444. What do you think? What do you think time position of clocking is, guys? It's all numbers. My clocking system is nothing but numbers. That's it. But it's so easy for me because I'm, 500,000 years in the future. So times that by how many clockings? So, and all timelines, all space. So it's the space that you produce inside, and it's the time that you sequence in position locations of outside. Now, when I say outside, I don't mean outside of atmosphere. I mean outside of you. So you created the space and you're traveling, right? Outside, inside you. So don't get confused for that, right? Because you actually can't take your physical system and actually see yourself traveling. No, it's all in the mind. So the brain has to understand position of the computer aligned position to a circuitry board locations, because it's all connected to your receptors. It's all connected to the motherboard, the flash drives. It's all connected to your chakras, transmitting, receiving. It's all connected to the grounds. It's all connected to your heart, which is its computer, right? I mean, you guys don't know your computers of the heart yet. You're getting there, but you have to get into all levels of your clocking first, especially if you want to go past light speed, all right? So 12 clear, 24 clear, 40 clear, all merging now. Excellent. Good. Once you get that clear, once you get that merging, you get that confirmation. Yeah, great stuff. All right, whoosh, cap lock, rainbow, colors, all right, merge 72, then merge 72 into 144 using trifactors and gears. Very good. Yeah, see, that's the thing, third command, he knows his position, so that's great. Merge to 72, then merge to 72 into 144 using trifactor is gears. See, that's what I'm saying, how he goes from 72 to 72 to 144. So he knows exactly how to use the trifactor. And it's all about understanding what you're doing, guys. And it gets easier when you go faster, trust me. It gets more confusing when you go slower, right? So it's all position of your mind and where you are through your conceptual of your line signals, locations, or anything in matrix lids. A matrix lid is a cap. That cap position locations to its all position of its affinity circle. What are you creating? Affinity 8, a 6, a 7, a 4, a 3, or 2, or 1, right? Humanity is now in an 8-line center, right? With the crown, with the atom, right? That puts you all in position locations of Gardens of Eden. So that's something to look good. Look forward to. All right, go, 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 everybody. Pull. All right, 0.01111. Portal line key. Yep, position location confirmed. Very good. Falter mother, please. I think I'm so lost. Linda, yeah, don't worry about it. You're new to the position location. Just try to understand what's going on through observation. You know your clocking system at 12 and 24 in position. Try to go more to my school so you get in more position location, how to travel through 48 to 72 to 144. Anything past that, you're going into light speed. All right. So, all right. And you're always receiving downloads every single day. Whether you understand that or not, you have to figure that out for yourself. But I'm here to help you. My team is here to help you, especially for the new viewers. You are given energy every single day. So you really have to understand the concepts of your avatar and how to use it through space and time of travel. That's all this is. Space, time, travel. Space, time, travel. That's it. Space equals time equals travel. That's all. And you say, that's all. Okay, that seems complicated. Well, it's not complicated because it's not complicated to me. So why should it be complicated to you? Right? As soon as you say complicated, you're changing your grounds, your clockings, your atmospheres, your time, your space, your high signals, your low signals, all position your trifactors, your factor locations, and everything through your avatar is really confused, the line system. Right? The faster you go, the easier it gets. The slower you go, get more confused. So it's crazy, right? But the process is there for you to understand how to use your positions of your 12, 24, 48, 72, 144, and on. Okay? So, all right. Let's see. Receiving light codes, violent pink atmosphere, a moving outer sector, framing of the white tubes. Very good, Ellen. You're traveling good. Receiving light codes, yeah. All right, nice. Okay, Adam is my master clock. Woohoo, yeah, okay. Yeah, Emmer is already ahead position location because she understands her timelines, and that's what it is, guys. I mean, that's what her forte is. Everybody's in that position. Same with navigations when it comes into third command, and everything with Heather with her data. Everybody is in something that they do well, and there are things that you need to work at in space to travel, especially when it comes into the rebellion. They're doing exceptionally well, but it's the first time they ever gone through their clockings, right? Because that's all we know. But when you want to know more, when you want to know how to travel through 48 or 72 or 144 and on, it's exciting, right? And it's all done through your thoughts. So your thoughts have to understand what? The placebo. The placebo is the thought. The cortex is its vision. So visionary line center position of cortex locations, Y factor line interference to trifactor to factor line interference puts position locations, all levels, through its calculation. Times pi, times square root, right? So it doesn't matter what you're doing. All that matters is it's knowing. And it's all done through solar memory, guys, right? So, okay, I see a formation of spaceships like an arrow. Greeting. Uh-huh. Nice rug. I went to some planet green. Good. So Steph's getting information. That's great. Okay, lines from Bermuda Triangle into sector visibility, knowing exactly your missions, guys. You're 1 million years in the future. So understanding all position locations. Coming to Ellen, high position instruction line center sets its position to its location, knowing exactly the coloration of the sun, knowing exactly the time position where the moon has to be in sector core position of vector line. That's a true understanding through its flux capacitor. It has to be in a certain timeline for humanity to wake up in position to its location of February 22nd. February 22 to February 25, which is my birthday, right? So, and that's a true understanding where it comes into the first, and second, and third, and fourth wave generation light conditions, right? All right. So you guys are connected to all levels of Highline Center of all positions of Enoch. And the planet is green. It's forestry green. It's angelic green. It's ruby green. It's amazing how you connect to all level conditions, right? So any planets that you see, you're in line of signal. You just have to understand your beacon lights, your communication cycles, to your clocking line conditions. So there's all understanding every planetary system has its future, has its past, and has its presence. So if you're in the current location, you're still going to see it in this position. But see, the thing is too that all planets go with you. They stay with you because you're building something inside of you. So all those planets are in synchronized. So each planet that I connect with is what? Each cell in my body. Imagine that. Every cell in my body is a planet. Makes sense, right? Because you're connected to space and time, a travel. So, all right. Confused about my function. I see. So clear mapping of travel of the crew, but where am I? 1 million years in the future, Alan. That's where you are. Traveling in a 344 clocking system of 850,000 miles per second of a rocket jet. All right. So I'm confused about my function. Yeah. Oh, confusion is okay. Green plasma polishing of the crown. Yeah. Okay, let's see. Clocking system, set X factor, set vector Y, construct set. Very good, Heather. Nice. I like the way you set that. All right, beautiful. I see the crown rotating now and glowing. Excellent. Very good, Chris. Way to go, Sergeant. Excellent. So this is a true understanding how you're seeing these things. And when you're seeing these things, you're seeing it already, which is already done through your equation because you've already done it. But when you're seeing it in the current location of 1 million years in the future, it gets more real to its position of its trifactor, to its factor, to its position location. You can go from Y equals all position X, Y, Z, right? It's all about understanding how to calculate all levels of your alphabetical line center of teleportation to your clocking locations. So, all right. Chills, yeah. Vortex laser beam set, very good. I feel that through line center. Laser is good. Red gem in the center of the crown, very good, Janet. Nice. Emerald green, either side. White besides. Emerald. So it's kind of like the end of games with the Avengers. With Thanos, he had to have all stones in his hand, and then he can disappear out of sight. Everything's a message. So that's what it is collecting all the stones. Liberian Atlantis, put that together. You got 72, and 72 is what? 144. Right? Oh, yeah. Cool. All right. Wowzer, yeah. Recalibrating the lights in a row, horizontal. Okay, that's I see the planet. We are back at the same location. Greenish hue. I'm on the station again above. Had to run a short mission. Okay, but I'm back in post. All right, good clocking there, Guardian. Excellent. You got a clocking center rotations to 48 to 72, 144, back to all position locations, and tie line center into 12. Nice. So that's Trudy's standing where he's in position and where I know everybody is in perception. So that's really cool. Nice. I like that. So humanity has to come back to zero. All humanity has to come back to a current level position of 0.1. All right. Okay, let's see here. I see golden symbols and crown floating above, same codes, and emerald tablet. Yep. Infinity crown of all timelines and planets. Download and rebooted complete. Thank you, General. You're back. Rockstar. Rockstar. Happy dance. So everything you're doing is real, obviously, because you see it. It's in its current location of 1 million years in the future position, right? So now, when I send you back, you'll be back in your current line center of where you are in the mind. So that doesn't mean you have to be in your 12. That could be in your 24, 48, or 72. It's where the avatar needs to be and where it needs to feel comfortable, right? Because when I started off at 12 and I went in from 24 to 48 to 72, 144, I jumped all the way past. Then I started calculating and say, this is not math, this is maps. And then I started, whoa, this is exciting. This is the avatar traveling through the X line center, right? In position location. So, all right, I can keep talking because I had no filter. You guys know that. Center back position locations, highline center, complete to system rotation, emission, journey line connection. Crown is in sequence. Yeah, it's in its tablet. Yeah, and Father communications of Mother Earth. High position. Yeah, high position line center. Bring them back in the current location where they are in the mind line center to their position to its locations. Yes, the GFL is in position location of rebellion. Set signal location. Now you're back. All right, that was fun. So I know it's a lot to take. I know it's a lot of work, but it's not work. Try not to see this as work. Try to see it as memory. If you see it as work, it's too complicated. If I gave you a clocking system of 500,000 line position locations of its clocking center, you'd be very confused. Times that by 1,000,000 is what? 5 million. That's fast. 5 million miles per second? That's crazy. That's nuts. So, I mean, that's a true understanding how fast the mind can go. It's all about understanding how much water you drink. And it's all about understanding how much you understand your position to your own clocking system, right? Because you can time jump, time vortex, time leap, or anything that position to its connections, right? But you guys did a fantastic job. Congratulations, right? All right. All right. The beginning lights. Yes, exactly. I shouldn't have to tell you your emissions because you should already know. It's already stored in memory. So the more I take you where you need to go, you should know exactly what you need to do, right? And it's very important to log this in every single time. So make sure you have your water, make sure you have your notes, make sure you have your pens and pencils, highlights, or whatever helps you in position. Use crayons or anything connections. You can even draw when you're traveling. That's even more fun. So if I'm calculating to modify position line center, right, rotation, I got a circle rotation there, the center operation, right? Circle rotation, center operation of point system. That's it. Clock its system location into Y factor of a trifactor line interference to its position, right? Point system locations, high line center to the sun, high line center to the moon in position to its location, right? So zip, zap, zoom, position, XT1000 comes in. There it is, the position location, right? See it? So what happens now? It sonars its line center, position to its location, sets up another ground line rotation to its crop circle to its location. See how it sets up its program? All through all levels of the brain center line interference. It's an incredible force. It really is, guys. How it travels through time position to its location. Hooah. See? That's how you set things up through crop circles. You guys got to get modified and understand how to use an XT1000 rotation interference because it's you through travel. So every time I draw, I'm drawing me in travel. This is not a drawing. This is me. And it's where? In the current location, right? You have to understand where the mind is. You have to understand where the brain is. You have to understand where your body is. You have to understand where your soul is. You have to understand where your heart is in all position locations. To your Y factor locations, to all position location, your flux capacitors of the sun and the moon. Hooah. All right. That was fun. Is everybody really confused now? Water is extremely important, guys. But it's amazing how I did this in seconds because it's not drawing. It's already in memory. It's too complicated to draw because then you start wiping things out. That's why you have erasers. What did I do wrong? And then you got to erase it out and then do it again. So it's all in memory. It's all in memory. And that's what the brain is. The brain is its computer line center to all position location of all timelines of all space position location into the mind of its simulation. All right. So it's a lot of fun, isn't it? Yeah. Well, that's the thing. Everything that you've done Everything that's going on right now, everything's going to get loud. Every signal is going to open up position location. The receptors are opening up third eye line center. February 22nd is here in position locations. The crown is in the center upper line center. Tomorrow, we center position location of Atlantis and Lemuria into one merging location to an atom rotation. Hooah! See you later.